Gasoline electric hybrid engine training bench, Toyota Prius 1.8L. Product introduction. The training bench is based on the third-generation Toyota Prius 1.8L gasoline electric hybrid engine and the electronic transmission bridge system. It can perform practical operations on the engine and electronic transmission bridge under starting, acceleration, and deceleration conditions. It truly shows the working process of the hybrid electric engine, and meets the teaching needs of the structure, working principle, fault setting and diagnosis of the Prius 1.8L hybrid electric engine and electronic transmission bridge system. The equipment is easy to operate, movable, safe and reliable, and easy to maintain. Basic configuration. Training detection panel. Engine assembly. Motor assembly. Motor controller. Power battery. Maintenance switch. Power battery cooling blower. Smart key. 1-button start switch. Accelerator pedal. Gear lever. P-gear switch. Mode switch. To the fuel tank. Battery. Main power switch. Motor and motor controller radiator assembly. Hydraulic oil storage tank. Storage tank. Hydraulics pump. ABS control unit. Transmission system. Half shaft, brake, etc. The engine system assembly includes coolant tank, radiator assembly, fuel filter, activated carbon tank, oil dipstick, throttle body, air filter, airflow meter, camshaft timing oil control valve, oil filler, ignition coil assembly of each cylinder, camshaft position sensor, crankshaft position sensor, oil pressure switch, air-fuel ratio sensor. Training panel. When a color circuit diagram is drawn on the panel, a combination meter with a multi-function display, a certified ECU, an engine control unit, a power management control unit, and an automatic transmission control unit are installed. 2 sensors, actuator detection terminals and control unit detection terminals are installed on the panel to facilitate the detection of their signals without having to pull out the plugs of the control units. Sensors and actuators during detection. 3. Connect the corresponding sensor and actuator plug to the sensor and actuator detection terminal, and connect the corresponding ECU plug to the ECU detection terminal of each control unit. Relay. Fuse and diagnostic socket are installed. 5 USB socket function for tablet charging. 6 SD card socket function used to write the program of the fault setting system. 7 oil pressure gauge and vacuum gauge. Component function introduction. 1 mode switch includes AV mode, pure electric mode, eco mode, economic mode, PWR mode, power mode. 2 P-gear switch. Step on the brake pedal. When the equipment stops running, you can shift into P gear. 3 1-key start switch. There are 4 gear positions: off gear, ACC gear, IG gear, ST gear. 4 HV battery pack, NEMH battery. The HV battery pack assembly mainly includes HV battery temperature sensor, HV battery intake temperature sensor, hybrid battery junction box assembly, battery cooling blower assembly, battery voltage sensor, and maintenance plug. The HV battery adopts plastic container type single cell, which realizes excellent high power density, lightweight structure and long service life. The battery cooling blower assembly is used as a special cooling system to ensure the normal operation of the HV battery, so as not to be affected by the large amount of heat generated during repeated charging and discharging cycles. The HV battery consists of 28 individual battery modules, connected in series through 2 bus bar modules. Each battery module is composed of 6 cells. The HV battery has a total of 168 cells, 6 cells 28 modules, and the nominal voltage is 201.6 volts, 1.2 volts 168 cells. Installed above the drive motor, with power input, MG1 MG2. Air conditioner connection ports, yellow high voltage cable. Convert high voltage direct current DC HV battery to alternating current AC, generator MG1 and motor MJ2, and vice versa AC to DC, including booster converter, DC converter and air conditioner inverter. The boost converter boosts the maximum voltage of the HV battery from DC 201.6 volts to DC 500 volts to drive the motor. The DC converter step-down converts the highest voltage from DC 201.6 volts to DC 12 volts, powers the body electrical components and recharges the backup battery DC 12 volts. When the 3-phase alternating current passes through the 3-phase winding of the stator coil, a rotating magnetic field is generated in the motor. By controlling the rotating magnetic field with the rotating position and speed of the rotor, the permanent magnets in the rotor are attracted by the rotating magnetic field to generate torque. The generated torque can be used for all purposes matching currents. The motor speed can be controlled by changing the frequency of alternating current. In addition, by properly adjusting the angle of the rotating magnetic field and the rotor magnet, a larger torque and a higher speed can be generated. MG1 number 1 engine, generator, and AMG2 number 2 engine, generator are both high-efficiency AC permanent magnet synchronous motors. When necessary, these generators are used as auxiliary power sources to provide auxiliary power to the engine, enabling the vehicle to achieve excellent dynamic performance, including smooth starting and accelerating. After regenerative braking is activated, MJ2 converts the vehicle power into electrical energy and stores it in the HV batteries. MG1 recharges the HV storage battery and supplies power to MG2. In addition, by changing the rotation speed of the generator to adjust the power generation, MG1 effectively controls the function of the continuously variable transmission of the transaxle. MG1 also acts as a starter to start the engine. The system has newly added MG1 and MG2 cooling systems equipped with water pumps. The combination instrument has a multi-function display. The multi-function display of the old model is independent. The position of the speed and mileage of the meter uses the projection function. If there is something underneath it, the meter will not display. Multi-function display screen, according to the working conditions of the engine to achieve different screens: drive status, charging status, energy recovery status. Date OBD2 diagnostic socket. Use the diagnostic instrument to read the fault code and data stream of each system, analyze the data stream, and provide data support for fault diagnosis. Preparation before experiment. 1. Turn the self-locking device of the training bench to the locked state to prevent the bench from sliding. Then install the exhaust pipe. The exhaust gas will be emitted to the outdoors when the engine is running. 2. It is forbidden to place flammable and explosive materials within 1 meter of the training bench, and the ground should be kept clean and tidy. 3. It is forbidden to place measuring tools and other objects on the equipment. Beware of the risk of slipping. Cautions. 1. When the engine is running, it is forbidden to touch high-temperature parts, such as water pipes and exhaust pipes. Beware of burns when the surface temperature is high when the engine is running. It is forbidden to open the lid of the kettle. Beware of scalds caused by high-temperature water in the auxiliary kettle. 2. It is forbidden to touch moving parts, such as cooling fans, half-shafts, brake discs, etc. Be careful to pinch your hands when the engine is running at a fast speed, and it is forbidden to have suspended objects around it to prevent being caught in the belt. 3. It is forbidden to touch high-voltage components and high-voltage cables to prevent the risk of electric shock. 4. When removing the maintenance switch, it is forbidden to touch the connector with hands or tools to prevent the risk of electric shock. 5. Before starting the engine, first check whether the coolant level is within the standard range. If the engine starts running without water, the engine water temperature will be too high, and the cylinder may be pulled after long-term operation. 6. Check whether the oil level is within the standard range. Too little engine oil will increase engine noise and severe wear of mechanical parts. It is forbidden to start the engine without oil. 7. It is forbidden to place obstacles in front of the meter projector to prevent it from affecting the normal projection of the meter. One. Turn on the power main switch. The function of the power main switch is to disconnect the negative pole of the battery from the equipment. At this time, the normal power indicator lights up. 2. Set the 1 key start switch to the ACC position. The 1 key start switch indicator will be yellow, and the 1 key start switch will be in the on position. The 1 key start switch indicator will be yellow, and the IG indicator will light up and the instrument cluster light up. 3. Step on the brake pedal, and the 1 key start switch indicator will turn green. Press the 1 key start switch again, and the power system of the equipment is in the starting state, and the ready light is on. 4. It is normal for the indicator lights of ABS and power steering of the combination instrument to light up, because these systems are not involved in the hybrid power system. 5. Step on the brake pedal and put the gear into D gear. At this time, the instrument displays D gear and the instrument has a speed display, indicating that the vehicle is in a forward state. Observing the multifunction display of the combined instrument, it can display the vehicle's pure electric operation mode, fuel electric hybrid operation mode, energy recovery mode, and charging mode. Step on the brake pedal and put the gear into R gear. At this time, the instrument displays R gear and the vehicle speed display indicates that the vehicle is in reverse. 7. Step on the brake pedal, put a gear into N gear, then into P gear, and set the 1 key start switch to off gear. Fault setting and detection. 1. Fault setting. Use the wireless fault setting software to set the fault and set the crankshaft position sensor signal line fault. Set the 1 key start switch to on position, step on the brake switch, and place the 1 key start switch to start position. 2. Fault phenomenon. The hazard indicator light is on, the multifunction display of the meter reports a failure, and the ready light is off. Connect the diagnostic instrument, read the fault code as P0335, crankshaft position sensor circuit. Fault analysis. The reasons for the fault may be the crankshaft position sensor failure, the engine control unit failure, line failure. 4. Fault diagnosis. First, check the voltage of the crankshaft position sensor terminal and the engine control unit terminal. Turn the multimeter to the 20 volts DC range and detect the voltage between the crankshaft sensor number 1 terminal and the crankshaft sensor number 2 terminal. 0 volts. Detect the voltage between the B74 terminal of the engine control unit and the B120 terminal of the engine control unit. 0.19 volts. After the above voltage detection, it is found that the voltage of the crankshaft sensor 1 and 2 terminals and the voltage of the engine control unit B74, B120 terminals are abnormal, indicating that the line between the crankshaft position sensor terminal and the engine control unit terminal is faulty. Set the 1 key start switch to the off position, set the multimeter to the 200 position, and detect the resistance of the circuit between the voltage of the crankshaft sensor terminal 1 and the engine control unit B74 terminal. Infinity, normal value is less than 1. Detect the resistance of the circuit between the crankshaft sensor number 2 terminal and the engine control unit B120 terminal. Less than 1, the normal value is less than 1. After the above voltage and resistance detection, it is judged that the line between the crankshaft sensor 1 terminal and the engine control unit B74 terminal is open. Find a wire, connect the crankshaft sensor terminal number 1 and the engine control unit B74 terminal. Turn the 1 key start switch to on, and use diagnostic tool to clear the fault code. Restart the device. The indicator ready lights up, and the device is operating normally. Use the wireless fault setting software to clear the fault. Turn the 1 key start switch to on, and use the diagnostic tool to clear the fault code. Restart the device. The indicator ready lights up, and the device is operating normally. After the practice training. After the training is over, step on the brake pedal and wait for the equipment to stop, then press and hold the P switch to put the gear into P gear. Set the 1 key start switch to off position and disconnect the main power switch. To put away the measuring tools and other items in an orderly manner, check whether the docking plugs of the sensors and actuators are installed in place, and restore the equipment for normal use next time. Common fault. 1. The fuse is damaged. Check whether the fuse specification and model meet the standard. Replace the fuse and check the corresponding circuit. 2. During the experiment, the sensor and actuator wire harness docking plugs that have been plugged in are not installed in place. Check the sensor and actuator wire harness docking plugs. 3. During the training, the fault is not cleared or the fault code is not cleared. Use the wireless fault tablet to clear the fault. Use the diagnostic instrument to clear the fault code or turn off the main switch for 30 seconds and restart. 4. When the engine is turned off, first check whether the fuel tank is sufficient. 5. Motors, motor controllers, battery modules and maintenance switches. High voltage cables are faulty. Maintenance of high voltage circuits requires personnel with electrical work permits to operate.